I remember the moment everything changed for me. I was sitting in my cramped apartment staring at my bank account, and it hit me. I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Have you ever felt that way? The weight of financial uncertainty can be crushing. But let me tell you something. I discovered a powerful truth about wealth that transformed my life. What if I told you that the key to riches isn't just about finding the right job or saving that extra penny? It's about shifting your mindset. Picture this. Your thoughts are the blueprint for your financial destiny. If you're stuck in a scarcity mindset, you'll likely stay there. But if you can embrace a mindset of abundance, your entire reality can shift. Think about it. Are you ready to break free from the chains of financial struggle? Are you prepared to transform your thinking to attract wealth? The journey is not easy, and it requires discipline and focus. But I promise, the rewards are worth it. So let's dive deep into the mindset that will set you on the path to financial freedom. If you're with me, let's get started. Prosperity mindset. It's almost as if the universe responds to my belief in abundance, opening doors I didn't even know were there. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's about aligning my mindset with the outcomes I desire. Our subconscious beliefs about wealth play a huge role in our ability to accumulate and maintain money. For years, I held on to the belief that money was hard to come by, and guess what? That mindset kept me stuck in a cycle of financial struggle. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Once I began to recognize and challenge those beliefs, I started to see opportunities where I once saw obstacles. By changing my internal dialogue, I could start paving a path toward a more prosperous life. It's fascinating how the mind works. It can be both an ally and an enemy. When I embraced the idea that I deserve financial success, I felt more empowered to take action. I began to visualize my goals and set intentions that aligned with my newfound mindset. This shift didn't happen overnight, but each positive affirmation and every moment of gratitude for what I had contributed to a growing sense of abundance in my life. It's about creating a mental environment where prosperity can thrive. I also learned that surrounding myself with positive influences can enhance my prosperity mindset. Conversations with like-minded people who share an abundance mentality inspire me to think bigger and bolder. I've found that the more I engage with others who believe in wealth and success, the more I feel that same energy radiating within me. It's like being part of a supportive community that uplifts and encourages growth, and that's incredibly powerful. Ultimately, adopting a prosperity mindset has transformed not just my financial situation, but also my overall sense of well-being. I no longer view money as a source of stress, but rather as a tool that can help me achieve my dreams. By cultivating this positive relationship with money, I've opened myself up to a world of possibilities that I never thought were attainable. It's a journey, but one that is worth every step. Subconscious beliefs about wealth. For a long time, I didn't even realize I was carrying beliefs that were holding me back. Phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," were ingrained in my mind, and they set a tone of scarcity that influenced my decisions. I learned that these beliefs often stem from childhood experiences and societal conditioning, and they can create a significant barrier to financial success. Recognizing these limiting beliefs was a game changer for me. I started to question them, asking myself, is this really true? Over time, I began to replace those negative thoughts with empowering affirmations. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," I switched to, "How can I afford this?" This simple rephrasing opened my mind to new possibilities and solutions. It's amazing how the language we use can impact our mindset and consequently, our financial outcomes. I also discovered that reprogramming my beliefs wasn't a one-time event but an ongoing process. I made it a habit to engage in daily practices that reinforced positive thinking about money. This included visualization, journaling my financial goals, and surrounding myself with success stories that inspired me. Each small change contributed to a growing sense of confidence in my ability to attract and maintain wealth in my life. As I continued to work on my mindset, I noticed a shift in my actions. When I believed I could achieve financial success, I became more proactive in seeking opportunities. I stopped waiting for the right time and started taking calculated risks that aligned with my goals. This newfound confidence not only affected my finances but also enriched my personal life, as I felt more empowered in various aspects of my existence. In the end, understanding and reshaping my subconscious beliefs about wealth has been transformative. It's a reminder that my thoughts have power, and by cultivating a mindset that embraces abundance, I can create the financial future I desire. It's an ongoing journey of growth, but every step I take toward a healthier relationship with money feels like a victory. Reprogramming. Negative thoughts. We get so caught up in negative thoughts about money that they become second nature. I used to think that money was scarce, that it was something only a few could attain. But over time, I learned that these beliefs were just stories I had been telling myself. I started to notice how much my negative mindset affected my financial decisions. Every time I hesitated to invest in myself or my future, I realized I was holding on to that scarcity mentality. It was time to change the narrative. To reprogram those thoughts, I had to actively challenge them. Instead of saying I can't afford it, I began asking myself, how can I afford it? This simple shift opened up a world of possibilities. I started to visualize abundance instead of lack. I spent time each day reinforcing this new mindset, whether through affirmations or by surrounding myself with people who had a positive outlook on wealth. It's amazing how this practice slowly but surely transformed my relationship with money. Another technique I found helpful was gratitude. Instead of fixating on what I didn't have, I began to appreciate what I did have. Every little financial win, no matter how small, was a step towards a more abundant mindset. This shift didn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, I could feel my view of money evolving. I started to see it as a tool rather than a barrier, which was empowering. Additionally, I learned about the power of visualization. I would spend time imagining my financial goals as if they were already achieved. Picture this. I saw myself living in a comfortable home, traveling and enjoying experiences that I once thought were out of reach. This mental imagery became a source of motivation, pushing me to take steps toward making those dreams a reality. Breaking free from a negative mindset isn't just about changing thoughts, it's about taking action. Once I recognized my old patterns, I began to set clear financial goals. This clarity made it easier to stay focused on opportunities instead of pitfalls, action, and responsibility. I used to fall into the trap of daydreaming about the life I wanted without making real plans to get there. It's easy to say, I want to be rich, but what does that really mean? I realized that I needed to define what wealth looked like for me, and then break it down into actionable steps. Taking responsibility for my financial situation was a game changer. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people for my financial struggles, I started to look inward. I asked myself tough questions. What decisions have I made that have led me here? What can I change to improve my situation? This kind of self-reflection was uncomfortable at times, but it was necessary. I learned that if I wanted to change my financial narrative, I had to be the one to take the reins. I also discovered the importance of making conscious decisions. Each dollar I spent became a reflection of my values and goals. I started to ask myself whether my purchases were aligned with the life I wanted to create. This shift in perspective meant that I was no longer a passive participant in my financial journey. I was in the driver's seat. Every choice became intentional, and I felt more empowered as a result. Creating opportunities for myself required stepping out of my comfort zone. I began networking, seeking mentors, and looking for ways to learn about wealth-building strategies. It was a process, but I started to notice that the more I put myself out there, the more opportunities seemed to come my way. This proactive approach was crucial in shifting my mindset from scarcity to abundance. In the end, I realized that taking responsibility wasn't just about my finances, it was about my life. By owning my choices and actions, I felt a sense of control that I had never experienced before. It was liberating to know that my future was in my hands, and that made all the difference in my journey towards financial prosperity. Calculated risks as a strategy for success. In my journey, I've learned that every successful entrepreneur or investor has had to embrace a level of risk. They weigh their options, assess potential outcomes, and then make a move. It's this balance of caution and courage that can lead to magnificent rewards. On the other hand, I've seen countless friends and acquaintances paralyzed by the fear of making a wrong decision. They sit and ponder all the what-ifs until opportunities slip right through their fingers. The reality is, inaction is often the riskiest move of all. Without taking steps toward our goals, we stagnate, and before we know it, we're stuck in the same financial rut we've been trying to escape. It's crucial to remember that every action, or inaction, has consequences. By reframing how we view risk, we can transform it from a source of anxiety into a powerful tool for growth. Moreover, calculated risks can also be a fantastic way to learn. Each decision made, whether it leads to success or failure, offers valuable lessons that can guide future choices. I've made my share of mistakes, and while they were often painful, each one taught me something that propelled me forward. The key is to approach these experiences with an open mind, ready to adapt and evolve. Financial growth often requires us to step outside our comfort zones, and that's where the magic happens. In my experience, successful financial planning often requires a willingness to experiment and innovate. It might mean trying a new investment strategy or launching a side business. The world is full of opportunities, but they come with their share of uncertainties. By taking risks, we open ourselves up to new avenues for income and growth. It's about striking a balance between being prudent and being brave, allowing us to navigate the financial landscape with confidence. Ultimately, embracing calculated risks has taught me that fortune favors the bold. Every time I've stepped out on a limb, I've discovered something new about myself and my potential. It's about trusting the process and knowing that even if things don't go as planned, there's always a lesson to be learned. The journey toward financial prosperity isn't just about the destination. It's about the courage to take the steps that lead there. Influences and financial habits. It's fascinating how these formative experiences can create a lens through which we view our financial lives. As I grew older, I began to see how those early lessons manifested in my financial habits. I found myself repeating patterns of behavior that mirrored my parents' approach: reluctance to invest, hesitance to spend, and a general anxiety about financial decisions. It was almost as if I was on autopilot, guided by inherited beliefs rather than my own aspirations. This realization was crucial in my journey toward breaking free from those negative patterns. I needed to confront these inherited habits head-on if I wanted to cultivate a healthier relationship with money. Identifying and breaking negative patterns is no easy feat. It requires self-reflection and a willingness to challenge long-held beliefs. For me, it began with education. I sought out resources, books, podcasts, and workshops that offered new perspectives on money management and wealth building. This shift in mindset was liberating. I learned that I had the power to rewrite my financial narrative and that my past didn't have to dictate my future. Another significant aspect of this journey has been the role of trust and integrity in financial relationships. I've come to understand that the way we engage with money can reflect our values. Building trust with financial partners, whether they're friends, family, or professionals,